All right. How's everybody doing? It's another wonderful, wonderful Sunday. Back with another weekly, right? So this is going weekly every Sunday at 3 p.m. discussing the weekly happenings as well as, occasional different topics that I've selected especially for you. How are y'all doing today? How's everything doing? Today, I wanted to discuss, all of the different things that's really happening right now in the United States. So we have been talking a lot, through this summer about anti-racism and changing the, society from being able to discuss this openly. And then we've just had our chief, Mr. Donald Trump, basically put an end to that in terms of federal agencies receiving any money, right? So in terms of federal agencies receiving money, he said if you're having workplace trainings that have anything to do with anti-racism, you're not going to receive any money. And it makes me think about, the kind of direction that the United States right now is taking. It makes me think about, what is one, what is going on? Two, for many of us, really, it's not surprising that, Donald Trump is taking these actions. Definitely been wielding his power in many different ways. It's very interesting, though, to me, that he calls the training or the anti-racism, anti-discriminatory training is un-American. I'm not sure if he's aware, if he realizes that what he's saying then is that racism is American. So it's just kind of like, what exactly is he trying to say? The denial of racism is certainly racism, right? So the denial of racism is racism. There's just really not an argument there. And it's just kind of also, are we really questioning? Are we still in a place where we're questioning if there is racism? Or are we in a place where we're saying, to what extent really does racism have an influence on our society? So where are we really? If you ask, our president, he says that there is no racism while espousing a lot of racism and, calling different people different names, and such as calling the coronavirus a Chinese virus or whatever that he has been calling it, or saying that there are bad hombres coming from Mexico, and calling a lot of African countries, shithole countries, for lack of a better term. Those are exactly his terms. He espouses a lot of racism, right? And it's not a secret, really, that for all intents and purposes, he is a racist, right? So it's very interesting, right? The power that he yields and that he wields in changing, one, how we view our history, and two, like what we do with that knowledge of history. There's one way that history right now is, the way it's being taught, it's just very kind of like sanitized. This happened, it happened long ago, and, we're better people now. The fact of the matter is the past and the present are interrelated, interconnected, and our present and the future are also going to be interconnected, right? And if we don't reckon with the past, and see what actually happened and make peace with that, like, hey, this really did happen and it impacted a lot of people negatively, right? I don't think there's a way to really like move forward without that acknowledgement. And basically it's just kind of like revisionist, it's just very revisionist pattern or like history that he is espousing. This is here's a quote that I just saw of him not too long ago. He said that, "I want our children to know that this is the greatest and most exceptional country in the world." And, there's just really no critical like thinking there. There's really no like self-analysis or any accountability. It's just if there is no heroification, like making America a hero and making all actors along the way in American history heroes, then apparently people don't love their country and are not invested in their country, which is a very bad, outlook, which doesn't really allow at all for any change or progress. So these are the sad state of affairs. As an educator in K to 12, I wonder how that's going to trickle down to the things that I'm involved in, right? In the industry education that I work in. He said something along the lines of, if California teaches the 1619 project, which is the year which the first slave ships landed on the shores of what is now the United States, if that is taught, that curriculum is taught, then he would remove funding for California public education, which, again, I don't really know the extent of power really that he can do that. But just the idea, just that message, right? What is that message sending to people? For one, it's instilling fear in people. And for two, it's really emboldened, really, the racists that are there, So I read a quote from a major general in the United States military service who said that Donald Trump is the most divisive president. And I thought to myself, goodness gracious, you're right. He really is. Instead of bringing people together, he just further divides people. And maybe he knows that he's going to be on his way out and he wants to do as much damage as possible. At least I thought to myself, maybe he knows that his days are numbered. And I worry also, to be honest, if we're going to have a peaceful transfer of power, should he lose this election, which, we really, really, in my opinion, need to vote him out. Hello, Jafar. How are you? Hello, Jafar. Mo Ibrahim, how is... Oh, goodness. I lost connection here for a little bit. Excuse me. I lost the connection for a little bit. Okay, so hello. Sudetin, Marka, how are you guys doing? So what do you guys think about all that? So if for those of you who live in the United States, right, what do you think about that? What do you think about the kind of ideas that a president, of the United States, the leader of the free world, is espousing? And how relevant are these things to our lives? Like, how do they impact our immediate lives? So far through his administration, he's attempted to undo a lot of progressive, legislation that protects people, especially minority people's rights. He tries to undo a lot of things. It appears that he did come into, the administration to undo a lot of things in terms of what the previous president of the previous administration did. But do you think he has a shot of winning the White House this 2020? What do you think? Hi, Zainab. How are you? So we're talking about the Donald and all of the things that he's been up to. Donald Trump is, interesting man. Not in a good way, at all. And I wonder sometimes, if he is a calculated, if he's a calculated menace, or if he's just not a very smart man, which is just as bad, right? So if you have somebody who's wielding so much power that doesn't know the impact of that power, or if you have somebody who knows the impact of that power and is using it for, really personal gains in nefarious ways, both of them are very dangerous. So obviously I am concerned, and I'm just wondering, about I'm just wondering about, the future, right? I'm wondering about the future. There's been a lot of things going on this summer. This summer, I was reflecting on it the other day, and I said this summer has been a summer of, heartache. It's been a summer of just a lot of, reflection from me, as a Black person, as a Black immigrant, as a mother of a Black boy. I'm thinking a lot about the direction that this country is taking. I'm reflecting on the past, the present. Are we really making any traction forward, or are we regressing actually right now, moving backwards? It's just really scary times. And in light of the national conversation regarding police brutality and racism, to have a president that just outright denies systemic racism, denies the existence of racism. I believe that the denial of the existence of racism is racism in itself. That way we're not going to acknowledge it. We're not going to undo any of its effects, and we're just not going to hold ourselves accountable as a country. And I think that sends a very dangerous message, and it is very divisive in itself. But yeah, we have, elections coming up, and I believe that we need to vote the Donald out. Need to get rid of him. We need to tell him, hit the road, Jack. You gotta go. Jafar is so happy to come on the US. Okay, so you're not in the US, but you're talking about very good topic. These things come into my mind, and I think about them day in, day out. I'm always thinking. To the point where sometimes I can't even sleep. I'm just thinking. So it's either thinking or writing or talking. I like both, the talking and the writing. But, I'm thinking a lot. So I'm like, how do I get this out? Let me talk to the people. Let me share my thoughts with them and tell them, hey, this is what's going on. What do you guys think? We live in this place together. I know, you guys are also, thinking about this. Hit me, share your thoughts with me. All right, so Ja'fari said, all your topics are hit. Keep doing the good things. Thank you so much, Walala. I really appreciate your support. Really appreciate that, that you're here and that you're, supporting me and that you're listening to the live. So I believe personally, right, that what is happening is obviously, wrong. I believe that anti-discrimination trainings are necessary, because although this country has been established on the idea that all men are created equal, on the other side, it has left out many people out of that definition of all men are created equal, right? Has left many people since the inception of this country. So namely, it's left out white women as well. It's left out Black people, Native American tribes, and all other minorities that have since been in the United States. So the idea that this is a white country for the benefit of white men is as old as the age of the United States. So these anti-discrimination trainings are necessary because they counter that idea and say, hey, actually, these other people here, they also matter, and these other people that are in your neighborhood and that are in your workplace. So these are workplace trainings, right? So these other people that you work with, even if they're different from you, even if they ethnically, racially different from you, their gender is different from yours, if they practice different faiths, they also matter. They have inherent value as human beings. And we need that reminder. We so desperately need that reminder, because if you carefully study history, you will see many of the instances where people's human rights have been violated, on that premise that they are not human. Right? So we do need these anti-discrimination, anti-racism trainings and reminders continuously to set that mood, or to set the tone of what is acceptable for us as a society and what is not acceptable for us as a society. And Donald wants to do away with that and completely, deny the existence of racism. I'm still totally, besides myself. And there's much to be, thought about as well in terms of, I've been thinking today, I thought to myself, this man was elected, obviously, right? He was elected. People voted for him. Right? And if you look at the number, who are the people that voted for him, right? So I have a question of, when will poor white people see that Donald Trump is not for them either? Because there is a lot of rural America that have voted for him, that see in him as somebody that is for them. But the fact of the matter is, this is a rich man. He's a billionaire. There is no, he has class solidarity with all the other like rich people, okay? He does not care about you, little working class person, right? So it doesn't matter. There isn't like a race solidarity in terms of from Donald to poor working class white people, right? So for me, it's like, why? Why are you voting for him? He does not care for you. You are not temporarily embarrassed millionaires. You have more in common with me than you have with Donald Trump. So why are you voting for someone like him? So we do have to talk about really why people are voting for him. What do they see in him? And what exactly do they get out of this? And I know multiple analyses really have been made, and I have read many of them, but it's still not clicking for me, because I'm like, you're voting against your best interest. Why are you voting against your best interest? Anyways, for those of us who are here, what are you thinking along these 2020 elections? Do you think Donald Trump is going to have another shot? Another shot at the White House for another 4 years? Share your thoughts. Let me know. So the topic that Kin had the Sokale, thank you so much for being here. Hello. Aini said hi. How are you, Aini? How are you? I feel like, when I'm in class that I was like looking at my students on the Zoom and I'm like, hey, how's it going? I thought I would like look all cool and be behind the camera like this and, talk. But instead, when I'm in class, I'm like looking on the computer. I'm scrolling down in the comments that the people are saying or my students are saying. I'm looking at, who's there, who's not there. I'm like this, like right here. And it's so awkward because sometimes I video my class sessions and then later I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't put this anywhere. It's so awkward. And I'll be like this, like, hey, how's it going? Okay, I see. Nice comments. Yeah. So it's very interesting. This virtual learning has been really interesting. Okay, we have some parents in here too, right? So how has virtual learning been for you and your children? How has it been? My son has started school and he's been having virtual learning for now about 2 weeks. And I have been teaching virtual for 2 weeks as well. So how has this experience been? It's been super interesting. And we've been trying to replicate the classroom as much as possible, but it's really difficult, right? If you're not in person, you're not in person. Which reminds me, I feel like we've just taken so much for granted, right? We just take so much for granted that I've really missed seeing people and I miss hugging people. And I really like, I actually work in the building, so I have to go to my building and work there. So that instance, like I see people, but just a regular life, like this whole new normal is just like, I'm tired. I don't want this anymore. And I'm sorry, Naima. And what was I going to say? Now I lost my train of thoughts. This new normal, yes, I saw a video yesterday. Somebody saying the pandemic isn't over just because you're over it. And I thought that's so true. It's not over just because I'm over it. Some days I'm like, I'm just so tired of this. I don't want this anymore, but it's like, it's still there. All right, so I got some comments. So this is about the Donald. He's behind in the polls, but part of me feels like he'll win. He was behind back in 2016 and still won. You guys, 2016. I still remember having that. I just went to bed thinking to myself, like, whatever. I'll wake up tomorrow and Hillary Clinton is president. Yeah, joke's on me. I went to bed that night and I woke up the next day and I was like, oh my God, am I still sleeping? Like, is this a nightmare? What do you mean Donald Trump is president? I just couldn't believe it. And Amma, what makes you say that, what makes you say that you think he's going to win again? So why do you say that? Tell me. Hi, Abdi, how are you, Soduo? Naima, those who don't have children feel offended. Sorry. Yeah, so that's been our new reality, as a teacher, as a parent, we're virtual learning. And, some of you, even employees, are working, even if you're not teachers, are working from home. And it's a challenge. It's different, and it's just like, how do I get this right? How do I make sure I'm doing my job to the best of my ability? So it's been like a challenge. Hogan said, my anxiety is all-time high and school hasn't even started yet. I'm so sorry. I know it's stressful. I know. Just think that, just think that you're trying your best. You are doing the best that you can. And I know it's easier said than done because I stay up all night sometimes thinking about all the things that I'm supposed to be doing at home, at work. Usa. You're doing the best that you can. And to be honest, this year, we're just going to survive. We're going to do the best that we can with good intentions, and we're going to survive. And, we're going to hope and pray that we get a vaccine. Although people have been saying there's a vaccine in October, and they were like, a vaccine that hasn't gone through that many trials. And then guess what? They're sending the vaccines to Africa, as if Africa is a guinea pig or a laboratory where they can test the vaccines. And Africa has been handling the COVID-19 pandemic a lot better than what, if you've watched the Western media, newspapers or, TV stations, it much to their surprise and dismay, it seems, it seems that they wanted all, Africans to die. How is it that Africans are able to handle the pandemic so well? Right? Very paternalistic and condescending attitude, if I do say so myself. I live, I don't know, some of you guys don't, in the United States, one of the most developed country in the world, or so we thought. Right? So, in Senegal, I was reading about Senegal and how well they were doing with handling the COVID-19 pandemic. And if you put Senegal and United States side by side, I think it was a list of 36 countries. Senegal was like in the top 10. United States was number 31 out of 36 of how handling the COVID-19 pandemic. The facts speak for themselves, right? All right, so, hey, what's up? What's up? Okay, somebody's sending me some distant hugs. Thank you so much, Aden. Yusuf says, hi, how are you, Yusuf Soduo? Why can't I be that illiterate parent, man? No, 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 you cannot. You're gonna be a literate parent. You're gonna help your kids. You're gonna do the best that you can. I've decided to even take a class with my sons. I'm taking one of his classes. I don't know if I shared with you guys before. I like music and I'm learning music. So along with learning the keyboard and learning the guitar, I'm learning the music theory, which is kind of like the theoretical background information about how music works. So I'm taking that class with him. It's going to be a lot of fun. I love it. So you could do something like that. You could just, take the classes with your child and read as much as you can. All right. So somebody, dude, I stayed up all night. Oh my gosh. No, I didn't go ask a but the joke was on me. The joke was on me. I thought I would wake up the next day and Clinton was going to be president. And then I woke up to a nightmare. Right. And then you woke up, right? And then you were like, oh my gosh, like, am I still asleep? Maybe I'm still asleep. Let me just go back. It's like, is this real? Amo said 2006, I thought us not to trust the polls, but the pandemic has changed everything. So hopefully people are smarter. Hopefully people are smarter. But then also the thing with the United States Postal Services fiasco, right? So people are really worried and have reason to be worried that, that their mail will be delayed, that they won't be able to even, be able to send the mail, that they won't be able to vote in person, especially if they're high risk, right? So we have a lot of issues now too. Amo said she read a new poll that said he has close to 30% Black support and 40% Latino support. Girl, really? I refuse. After everything, like maybe before I would say maybe they're trying to give him a chance, but like after everything, no, unacceptable. All right. That was hilarious. Okay. Africans are generally healthier than Westerns. This explains it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about like our diet, Let's talk about like just, the way that we take care of our teeth. Goodness. Naima, thank you so much, Abaya. I really appreciate it. Today, I was thinking to myself, I had a crazy week. I was so tired. Like, I was so tired. Like, I'm stressed out about the next day because it's different, and I want to make sure I'm doing things right. I want to make sure that the students are getting the best education still, even though the things are not the same. So this is like causing me a lot of anxiety because I'm kind of like control freak. Like I want to make sure that I'm doing the best that I can and I want to be able to deliver, so just causing me a lot of stress. And I would be staying up all night and then I would be so tired the next day in class. I would literally like this on the computer, like, hey guys, how's it going? Yeah, today we're going to be learning about physical properties of matter. I was just so tired and no amount of coffee was helping me. And then it was like rinse, repeat, day in, day out. So by the time I got to Friday, I was so exhausted. By the time it was 5 p.m., I was in my bed. All right. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. The poverty is the key to COVID. What does that mean? I don't know if poverty is the key to COVID, but obesity alone is a huge factor. Right. Obesity is like an issue. Maybe like that heat, it just kind of melts away the fat. I remember markaan Garissa joogay, did I tell you guys Garissan kusoo koray? Like kuma soo korin, like school baan ku dhigtay at least adiga 4 sano waan kusoo koray. Anyways, I was a young person. And I would go to school and goodness gracious, I would walk 45 minutes qoraxdi. Hadda qaarkiina waad ogtihiin, some of you know, qoraxdi, Garissa. And I would walk 45 minutes to school. And then I would walk 45 minutes back during lunchtime. And then I would go back to school after lunch. And then around 6, school kan kusoo laaban jiray. Do you know how much exercise that was? Like I lost so much weight. Like so much weight. All that walking. No wonder, like Kenyans and Ethiopians are like fastest runners like in the world. Except for, Usain Bolt, who is the fastest man alive. So anxiety of our Somali ladies is what moving us forward. Women are doing better than us Somali men. That's a conversation, right? That is a conversation, right? That needs a lot of attention, and we need to talk about that. How Somali women are the backbone of Somali society, and give us our props, okay? Give us our flowers now that we are alive. They were so wonderful. Give us our flowers now. You guys, so there's interesting, speaking of Somali ladies, right? There's something really interesting that I saw the other day on the Twitter, and it just got me all in my feelings, right? And it said, married women can be single mothers too. Now, I'm a single mother, okay? I'm a single mother, and I have been a single mother, since my child was born. So I'm like, how are you saying that married women can be single mothers? I was kind of offended. I was like, just because your husband went away for a work trip or went away somewhere and he's going to come back does not make you a single mother. And when I was talking about that, I was thinking about a coworker of mine who actually had said that like whiles back, said that, oh my gosh, my husband is going away for the weekend and I just feel like a single mother. And I was offended. I was like, no, you're not. Your husband is going to come back. Like, you are not a single mother. Stop co-opting my struggle. It is day in, day out. It's never ending, right? And I was offended. But then I thought about our situation, and I have seen a lot of single mothers who are married in Somali society. A lot of them. And I thought to myself, there's something to that. There are many married women who are basically single mothers. And I had to just kind of like, swallow that and say like, I am a single mother, but there are other women who are also single mothers who are only married by name. They're only married by name. But they don't receive the physical support, mental and emotional support that is required with child rearing. And I only have one. And I have seen many women with like many kids. So, I was like, that's a problem. And the men need to pick up their slack. They need to pick up their slack. They need to stop, having our sisters breaking their backs all the time, raising 5 kids, 6 kids on their own. It was very frustrating to see that. It was very frustrating to see that. It's frustrating to read that. And at first I got in my feelings because I was like, no, married women don't know. They don't know about my life. Their husband's going to come home and then what? Then I was like, how many hablo Somalia da arkay oo la qabo oo ilmo kaligood la dhadhacayo? Right? How many arakaan? So many baan arkay. I've seen many. Right? So sometimes people value just like the act, right, of marriage. Right? Just that hadale, but not really the actual partnership that's required, the physical, mental, emotional like partnership that's required, even here in the Western world, right? Even Western world women even deal with that, where they are having to worry about the household more than the men, right? They're worried about dinner, they're worried about the cleaning, they're worried about the cooking, they're worried about the kids' homework, they're worried about everything. And it's like the men will say something along the lines of, if you needed help, why didn't you tell me? Well, you live here too. Like, you should also be worried about this. This should also be your problem. I think about, you should be thinking about this all day. Like, you should be thinking about dinner. You should be thinking about who's going to pick up the kids. You should be thinking about what we're going to do over the weekend. You shouldn't leave all of that for me. And there's a term for that. And I was reading somewhere, it was mental load that women have. That worrying and that thinking about the household, even when they're at work or elsewhere, that takes energy and it's exhausting. And men don't have that mental load because a lot of the child rearing and domestic responsibilities fall on women, whether we're Somali or like American, I guess, because we're Somali and American here, but whether they're Somalis or Somali who are an American, or even American native, American women, right? Well, Do I think that many of our sisters who are married have lower expectations of their spouses? I don't know if it's lower expectations of their spouses, but I do know they have unrealistic expectations of themselves. Because as they are growing older, they're told a lot about what it means to be a woman, right? So what it means to be a woman. I was listening to this song. I was listening to this song. And I got sidetracked with that because let me tell you why I was listening to this song and why it's relevant to this topic. Do you know this song? YouTube ads, because I do not want to buy the YouTube Premium. And this is related to the expectations that are put on women. I was listening to this song, right? One child has time because it's got a nice beat. Okay, heestaas waan ka hela Cody, laakiin markaad heesaha adiga aad dhegaysatid, when you really dhegaysatid nuxurkooda, micnahooda markaad dhegaysid, when you look at their meaning, waxaa la leeyahay maxaad leedahay walee dumaro walee ninkaad daba socotiin, ninkaad maxaa la yidhi runta daba wadiin, ninkaad saan leedahay ma garanaysaa. It's like women are raising men, right? So it's not so much that women have lower expectations of their spouses, it's that from the gate they are told in order to be a woman, this is what you have to do. You have to raise your children, you have to raise your man, you have to maxaa la yiraahdaa gurigaada inaad ka adkaatid waaye, maxaa la yiraahdaa naag fiican noqo oo ha lagu dhihin dabka shidi oo ha lagu dhihin maxaa la yiraahdaa meesha maxay dhusuq u tahay oo all of these things of what a woman is supposed to be. And then on top of that, if you have an actual job outside of your home, you got like 3 full-time jobs. Hal qof baa tahana, you're just one human being. Anyways, I like the song, right? And it's got like nice beat, and they always get me with a nice beat, okay? Like in sound, what are you trying to say to me? Like, no, I don't want to do all that, right? It's a nice song anyways. But when you listen to the song's meaning, this is like mass indoctrination. You know what I mean? wuxuu ileeyahay waxaan suubi haddaad maxarta haddaad rabto inaa lagu dhaho naag fiican baa tahay oo haddaa lagu dhaho inaa lagu caynin saan suubi. I'm like, excuse me, what? Right? So it's like it's embedded in our culture of what a woman is supposed to be and do to prove our womanhood, right? One of them being that you marry, you have children, have lots of them, make sure that your husband has no complaints whatsoever and that you cater to him. Never mind that he doesn't do even his responsibilities, right? It's one thing if people have a partnership and everybody just kind of does what is necessary for the household, but the onus of responsibility is often put on the women. Maybe ninka ugu bandaan waxaa la dhihi, make sure you support your family financially. That's it. There's nothing else. Wax kale male. And wax weyn bay kasoo qaadaan waxaasna. But I go to work every day too. And I know how it is to make money, right? But I know guriga markaan imaadana weli waxay sugaya inaan cunto kariyo, inaan maxaa la yiraahdaa dharka dhaqo, inaan guriga hagaajiyo, intaas dhan way sugaysaa weli. Why am I worried about the household and my job? Why aren't we both worried about it? Right? So that is a problem. And not just in our society, it's also like that mentality, that patriarchal mentality of what women are supposed to do is also very prevalent in Western societies, so it's not really like a Somali specific thing. These gender roles are definitely very much alive here in the United States as well. Naag walbaba midkeeda xun bay iska haysata. Right. I can't imagine. Well, I was talking about single motherhood today, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine raising a man on top of that. I was like, no, thank you. So Naima, I believe it's a gender roles, and these needs to be revisited. We have 7th century expectation, and women are from society expects men to be breadwinner. Well, the women today are also breadwinners, I guess. I don't know if it's breadwinner. Expects men to be breadwinner. As a breadwinner, we are also, breadwinners today. You know what I mean? So it's like the values of a society changes, right? And the values, maybe the value is not so much, maybe it's not so much the value, but the practicality. You know what I mean? You do things for like pragmatic purposes, right? You do what is needed and what is necessary to run your household. So if it's needed that, and personally, I find fulfillment in my work, right? Even if I'm married, like I don't think I would be content staying home. Like that's not me. I want to go out there and, I want to see the world and I want to engage with other people and I want to be a productive member of my society. And, some women want to stay home with their children and that's okay too, right? To each her own. But just the idea that women should do X or Y, otherwise they're not women, that is problematic. It leaves the choice out of our hands. And then Sahib Khan, Adam Hussein, absolutely. But when women get education, they prove that wrong. Now they're in Congress. Right. Anyways, did y'all read Ilhan Omar's book? I read Ilhan Omar's book and I wrote a review about it. Okay, so you guys should definitely read it and read my review as well. Let me find my review. It was a while ago that I read it, but here it is. Let me share my review with you guys, and I hope that it'll inspire you to read her book. It's actually a quick read, very easy read. It didn't take me a long time. She's a good storyteller, I liked how she told her story. It was nice. Kind of inspired me to also write my story. Although sometimes, I'm just like mentally, I'm all over the place sometimes, like all over the place. I'm like, I want to talk about this and I want to talk about that. And I need to just that wild brain of mine, I need to just, suju that stop it, okay? Let's focus on this. So this actually doing the weekly has been really good for me. I told myself I'm doing the weekly, whether rain, whether sunshine, whatever, and I think so far I've only missed one day that I was away in Kentucky. And I don't know what was going on. I was meant to be back and then I was too tired and I was like, I can't drive to Columbus and then get online. I'm just exhausted. But so far, I was like, that was only one day that I missed. And I started at the end of April. So that's May, June, July, August, y'all. It's September now, right? So 4 full months. So I'm very proud of myself. And, the weekly really just kind of keeps me on track and keeps me in the know of what is going on in the world. Gives me in the know in the world. Let's see who's all here. Let us see who is all here. Yesterday, I had posted something hilarious on my Facebook, and I wanted to touch on that. There was, I don't know if any of you guys saw, did you guys see my post about, I said, there's this good-looking Farah whose picture is used all the time to catfish. Let me see if you guys have seen it. Oh, okay. Let me send it to you guys here, and then maybe you guys can see it because it was so hilarious. So I was talking about, I kept getting this message, this ad request continuously. And it was always the same picture, but it would be a different name. And one day I messaged a person that I thought it belonged to because they had a lot of mutual friends. And I thought, maybe this is the correct person. So I messaged that person. I said, hey, somebody is using your picture to make fake Facebook profiles and add people. And then they said something along the lines of, yeah, I know. And I've reported them, but I'm tired of reporting them. So the girls and I did some investigations and come to find out even that account was an imposter. So there's this guy who does not know this is happening to him. And one of the girls said, I actually know him. I went to school with him, the real person, and he's not even Somali. I thought he was Somali at first. And basically, He's like, I don't know, did she say Pakistani or Palestinian? I think she said Pakistani. But anyways, he's Pakistani, but hangs out mainly with East Africans and kind of looks like an East African, but he's not Somali. Because my first initial post said, hey, there's this good-looking Farah whose picture is used all the time to catfish like unsuspecting Halimos. Do you guys? And today I received a new ad request again. So as the girls did investigation, we realized, one, this guy is not Somali. Two, he's not, all of the people that were adding us were the wrong person. It was not actually him. And some people have like 30, 20 mutual friends in common with the imposters. Things are real out there. People are using people's pictures and catfishing people. Yeah, he's not Somali, apparently. He's like Pakistani, I think. That's what one of the girls said. She said she went to school with him. Hogan Hoyali said, have you seen the Somali soldier? Okay, tell me about the Somali soldier. Midkewai. I need to know. Which Somali soldier? What are we talking about? This one, he's a Pakistani guy who apparently hangs out with East Africans, and maybe that's how they got his information. Who knows? But apparently, he's not Somali. It was not him who I messaged to tell him that somebody was using his picture, so it was not him. Wow. I've been bamboozled. So it was not him. I messaged a stranger. So that was kind of like my LOL moment for the week. I was like, wow, that wasn't even him. Like here I was thinking, I was looking out for old boy. I was thinking to myself like, hey, somebody's using your picture. I wanted to let you know. It was one of the catfishers that I messaged. So anyways, iska ilaaliya, okay? Iska ilaaliya. I won't say any names, because, I don't want any streets out there are dangerous, But all you need to know is that Pakistani, it looks like a light-skinned Farah or Pakistani. There's this Somali soldier that's attractive and he's making circles in Facebook. How you tell me more about him, Hogan? What's his deal? Is he also being catfished? I'm still besides myself. I'm like, what is going on? Like, how does this happen? I mean, it's the internet, right? I got Zoom bombed last week. And the thing with the internet is like you solve one problem, you create a whole nother problem, right? So it's the nature of technology. If it can be used for good, it can be used for bad. And we do have some people in the world who are committed to using it for bad and doing bad things. So it's kind of like one of those things that realities really that I'm coming to term with, that if there's something that can be used for good, there will be someone or more that will use it for bad. What do you do? Okay, so he's been making circles in Facebook. So are you saying he's talking to every Halima there is? Is that what he's been doing? Sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. No, they were all posting him. Okay. So I'm trying to find him and I was fishing info from you, but clearly you have no idea who he is. Girl, I don't know. I am no, usually I'm the last one to find out about like the Facebook gossips, you know, like the juicy details. Like I'm always the last one to find out. Like I need to up my investigative skills. You know what I mean? I need to turn on like my nosy, you know, like nosy piece, like the auntie. Auntie mindset. I mean, I'm getting up to that age, right? My auntie mindset needs to like tell me, Isha, come here. You know, so I can find some more deets because I have no idea. Oh, all the Halimas are posting them. Oh, okay. I will try to find. I must not have people who are posting him. Why are people not posting him? All right, so this week had there. What else have you guys been up to? What's new? I gotta practice my Somali. Marba people have been messaging me and waxay dhahan horta adiga af Somali ma lagu diiday ma ka dhaarate. I said maya kama dhaaranine. I'm practicing it. Xoogaa in yar markaa ku fiicnaado waan sii badinaya. Inta kalena Ingiriiskaygan iska wadan hadda. Ingiriiska aad baan sugu fiicana, you know. I don't know. Hogana haddaad warka haysid waad iga fiicanta wallahi, because aniga this is like the first time that's on my radar, you know. Adiga hortada, like I did not know before you, so I had no idea. So yeah, you're in the know, and I'm trying to be in the business of being in the know, you know. But so who knows, right? I gotta tell you guys some more about that song. Wait. I got halfway and Garcia halfway. This is how songs get you. Hiya. 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 Haha, suk. Hiya, suk. So before I know even before I know what I'm like, I was like, what did you say? Hadad gur dabagashit. Samari dulqad lahow hayo. Algo oranin maxaa la yiraahdaa dabshida. Algo oranin dayaca. Danaheeda ku filan ahow. I'm like, what is this? وإيه دريبه هيا افرح لغة الصومالي واتقانا absolutely. You know what's good there? I super shakada ni kana know where. Hey suk. This is my favorite. هيا درجة waa dulqaadka. هيا ها إلا لما دان سنايو درجة إنه وادلقات كأنه how much BS we can pull up with. سوق ولي إمرو عينين ولي وصور نفسك حتى يهبين كم حضر ها عيري هدي يهبين وريكتو oo gurigooda diidabo haya oo maxaa la yiraahdaa meelahaas iska sheeka dhacleynaysa haya maxaan guriga stag iga dhigayaa khayr beelaha gurigooda hadday diido kulaha guriga ma diidana I'm just gonna hang out with my friends a little bit hasaasho hadday danayso kulaha hadday sheekaya waxaad danaysato ay ku daasho walla darajada ka wiiqan ya darajadii horey ee lahayd ka kacwaya walla ceebaha dusheeda kulaha ceeb kii arkana uu tilmaana waa tatiiti ha so imagine my surprise at the heestan hadda waxaan dhegaysanayaa weeks baan dhegaysanaya I'm like gurigaan ku hagaagsanayaa igama qasanaya one day I just stop and I listen and what muxuu sheegay he said what this is how they get you with that nice beat you know codka macaan yeah it's like when I listen to let me show you the song that I listen to that always gets me too I hope this is the clean version though no I need the clean version I can't play the bad version where is the clean version I hope this is the clean version
pretty ass bitches can
well
am I worth
big pimpin', baby. That's right. Big pimpin', spending cheating. You know I fuck them.
Never mind. We're not going to listen to it all that. But, you know, I used to be a big fan of Big Pimpin', right? And I was like, one day I was like, let me listen to these lyrics. And I was like, you said what? Now I can't listen to it anymore without just kind of being like, what the heck, you know? So there's a whole discussion in there of how music, you know, obviously music, art reflects life and life reflects art, right? So there's this whole idea in there. There's a discussion in there, and I'll get to it another time, of how music influences life and how life influences music, you know? Right? And they always get you with these like nice beats and nice, you know, what do you call it? Before you know it, you're brainwashed, you know, before you know it, you're being told on how to be a good woman, right? But anyways, we are nearing the end of the hour. Somebody said, Wariya. Who's Wariya? Akram, thanks. Say wallahi. Yes. All right. So we are nearing the end of the hour. Intas ani waxaan dhahay ma garanaysaa intaas kaliyan hadli karaa I can only talk for maybe an hour and then after that I need to relax for a little bit need to get away from like these studio lights and need to chill for a moment so any last remarks let me know anything you want to share let me know in these last 3 minutes Okay, my favorite song in Shadaya. Okay, مع السلامة. heestayda ii cad anige waa inoo mar kale